Colby Covington might have the most outrageous output in the sport. Yeah. It's outrageous. I feel like Masvidal is world championship.
Fuck yeah, 100%.
100%.
I've been a fan of that guy since way back.
Me too. Why am I thinking like a fucking peasant? He goes, why didn't I just knock that motherfucker out? And so that shift in his mentality changed. And then all of a sudden he murks Donald Cerrone, murks Darren Till, murks Ben Askren, beats the fuck out of Nate Diaz. Like, he's done an amazing job of getting people to dismiss him because they think he's a piece of shit.
Is not taking steroids, man. You know? Just being natural, enjoying this ride, the natural form, you know?
Yeah.
Not like pushing my body towards limits that I'm bench pressing 400 pounds when my ligaments are weak.
I didn't think that was possible. He's a fucking genius. Listen to that. This guy, let me mark my words. When this guy is done fighting, he will be a huge pro wrestling star. The Colby Covington thing is, look, what he did, if you want to put it in perspective for a regular person, I feel like Masvidal is world championship.
Fuck yeah, 100%.
100%.
I've been a fan of that guy since way back.
Me too.
And everyone's just finding out now. All these guys, you know, oh, Street Jesus.
He didn't like it at all, and then it forced him to think about where he's at, where he could be. And one of the things he was saying is like all these split decisions, and he was thinking like, why did it go that way instead of the other way? Like, why did I lose that fight instead of win it? Because there was a lot of them that are really close. Yeah. And he was thinking, well, maybe I could just have done a little bit more and won that fight. And then he said, why am I thinking like a fucking peasant? He goes, why didn't I just knock that motherfucker out? And so that shift in his mentality changed. And then all of a sudden he murks Donald Cerrone, murks Darren Till, murks Ben Askren, beats the fuck out of Nate Diaz. Like, he's a different person now. And now he's what he could have been. Yeah. He is potential realized. Like, he's
like a rebirth.
He's at 100%. He's at 100% right now. Like, you get in the ring with man. You get in the cage with that guy. Colby Covington might have the most outrageous output in the sport. Yeah. It's outrageous. It's all who's the better wrestler.
Yes.
Who's the better wrestler and who has more power and who can keep that up for the longest. Because Colby can keep that shit up for 5 rounds. He's done an amazing job of getting people to dismiss him because they think he's a piece of shit. with his MAGA hat and all the trash talk that he does, it's fucking brilliant, man. Because what he's done is just insult everybody and anybody, get a lot of people talking about him, and then fuck people up. So it's like, whoa, this is a crazy combination because it fucks with their head. They don't want to lose to this guy. They don't want to hear him talk shit. After he beats your ass, he's going to still talk shit? Fuck! There's a slight, I don't know, depending upon the person, but at least slight burden in experiencing that from a person. It might be a big burden. Maybe you're one of those people that has a hard time getting fucked with. And you can't, it keeps you up at night. And then it's like, maybe it diminishes your performance 20%, maybe 30%. Yeah. And Colby doesn't get tired. He keeps coming. It's terrifying. And Colby's just on you. He was punching some ridiculous amount, like 1 every 2.4 seconds or some crazy shit. He broke the work rate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
So the meanness, the shit talking, all the MAGA stuff, the strippers, the cringe, you're like, oh my God, right? And then on top of it, the fucking output inside the octagon, you're like, shit. He's doing all that and he's fucking me up. He might have fucked me up even if he didn't do all that. But he does all that and I don't want to lose to him and he's fucking me up. It's like, God damn. I think that Colby is doing a brilliant job of playing a bad guy like pro wrestling style. And I think he didn't used to do that early in his career. He was a hard-working guy who just went out there and fought his ass off, but people didn't give a shit. And they weren't giving him the credit that he deserves. And so he turned heel. And from that, he's become the interim welterweight champion. He's one of the most talked about guys in the sport. He took on a character. That's what I think. And I think that character is super successful at fucking with people. You know, I mean, and he can fucking fight, man.
Yeah, he can.
You can't underestimate that kind of cardio. That kind of cardio is crazy. To be able to do that for 5 rounds, that's bananas. That pace is insane. Yeah. I get what Colby's doing. I mean, he's making a lot of noise and trying to do business, you know. And if you fight him, you're going to make a lot of money because a lot of people are going to come to see him get his ass kicked.
Colby's striking's not terrible either.
It's very good.
Pretty damn good.
It's very technical, and the volume.
The volume.
So good, and so he's so clever. You know, that's one of the best things to say about Masvidal. And the thing is, people like don't necessarily associate him with knockout power for some reason.
Yeah,
he knocked out Ben Askren and put him in another dimension with a flying knee, world record fastest knockout. I mean, it's weird that people don't associate Masvidal with a knockout artist because he doesn't necessarily have the most power, but he's so good.
Well, the next one is this idiot. I won't even mention his name on your show because I'm not gonna make him famous. He's a fucking idiot, you know. But fight this guy and then go for the title. That's what they told me.
So you have to fight somebody else.
Yeah.
What does his name rhyme with? Dolby? You don't like him?
Not one bit.
Really?
Not one bit. Nah, not as a
Why did I
person.
forget that fight was scheduled?
Fighting can just like I'm talking to you and the fight goes on, and I just like almost get zoned out, you know. So it's always had my attention since a kid. Since before I knew that I could make money off of it, it just attracted me, you know. It's that primal instinct, survival, whatever it is. It's just hardwired deep into me, you know. And my longevity, one thing I definitely attribute to is not taking steroids, man. You know, just being natural, enjoying this ride, the natural form, you know.
Yeah.
Not like pushing my body towards limits that I'm bench pressing 400 pounds where my ligaments are weak, things like that, you know. And I also think God made me for this, you know. The way that I've been fighting my whole career, you know, I have really good defense. The last fight it didn't show, but I'm also like built hard, man.
That style of shit talking is infuriating.
Yeah.
And you can't say a goddamn thing to him because he's in a character.
Oh, yeah.
So if he pisses you off, you say something back to him, yeah, why don't you go suck Trump's dick? He'd be like, I would. Mr. Trump's a good man. I bet his dick tastes like lollipops. He can say whatever he wants.
Colby gets it, man.
Listen.
He gets it. He's full old school Ric Flair with a new style twist, and he's a real fighter, man.
He's a real fighter. He's absolutely one of the best welterweights in the world, and this is a very, very close fight. An elite wrestler who's transitioned to become a world-class mixed martial arts fighter, you don't get much better. He was scared. Or he was scary, rather. Everybody was scared of him. Nobody wanted to fight him.
Colby's my favorite thing to watch right now. I think I think he really gets so many aspects of the basic part of this sport.
Look at
right?
his suits.
Endurance, learn, train, and be entertaining.
Dude, have you seen his new suit?
No.
He's got an orange one now.
Oh.
And he brings that Donald Trump Jr. book everywhere he goes.
I love it.
He's got an orange suit, just as gross as the blue one. It is goddamn hilarious. There's photos of him at the press conference with the orange suit. Bro, he is. Look at that. Look at his orange suit.
Yes.
It looks like it costs less than the blue suit. I didn't think that was possible. He's a fucking genius. Listen, man. This guy, let me mark my words. When this guy is done fighting, he will be a huge pro wrestling star.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking huge. And he might do it quick. How about that? If that guy wins, and maybe he fights Masvidal, maybe he fights one more time, he goes right into pro wrestling.
Right.
And he may cha-cha-ching. And so he beats Damian Maia in Brazil and calls him a bunch of filthy animals. Everybody goes crazy. And they're like, oh, hold on a second. We might have something here. So he talked about it on the podcast. Like, look, I got to do something. My career is in jeopardy. Like, I'm going to create a character. So he created this character. Like, I've called his fights before. I called his fights early in his career. Before that, he was just a really tough guy who had a great gas tank, who I knew from my friend Cam Haines. He trains with Cam Haines.
Right.
So just imagine the kind of gas tank this motherfucker must have.